Hey YouTube, Bill here. Today we're making something called Kokedama. My daughter entered a flower show and one of the categories was Kokedama and she thought that sounded interesting. A Kokedama is called poor man's bonsai. Effectively, it's a ball of dirt with a plant stuck in it and some moss wrapped around it. Dirt, I found a recipe that was 7 parts peat moss and 3 parts bonsai soil. You mix them together thoroughly and add some water to get it wet enough to hold together. Getting the water balance right was a bit of a challenge. We had to add just the right amount to get it wet enough so that it would stick together but not be so wet that it would drown the roots of the plants. A good test is to pack together a root ball and it should stick together and keep its shape. And then if you take one extra step, you need to be able to break it in half and have the two halves hold themselves together. For the plant selection, most of what we picked were regular foliage plants because it's going to be a part shade planting. Because it's a flower show, she also wanted to try something a little special, so she got a desert rose plant. Not quite sure how it's going to work out, but that's what we're putting together here. So the basic technique is you pack together a ball, then you break it in half, and then you stick the roots in, and you close the ball together on it. A little bit of fine tuning on the shape and we got ourselves a nice ball of dirt with a plant growing out of it. For the last part of the process, we need some sheet moss. I've never purchased sheet moss before, so this was a new experience for me. Basically, just put the ball in and wrap the moss around. On this first one, I think we actually used a little bit too much moss, but live and learn. Once you get the moss ball around, then you gotta wrap it in fishing line or twine or some kind of wire to hold it all together. Of course, for this part of the process, the fishing line is basically transparent, and of course I was slightly off center in the frame, so you can't really see much, but hopefully you get the idea.
Maybe you should show the fishing line, the spool, because it's kind of clear, so it might be hard to see on camera.
And here we get a look at the completed Kokedamas. Hopefully at least one of them makes it to the flower show. Thanks for watching.